They say fame can turn dreams into gold, but it can also turn innocence into ashes. For millions of Americans, Marcia Brady wasn't just a TV character. She was perfection itself, the beautiful, popular, golden-haired daughter who had it all together on the Brady Bunch, but behind that flawless smile and wholesome image, actress Maureen McCormick, who brought Marcia to life, was fighting a private war, one that would nearly destroy her career, her relationships, and even her life. At 69, her story stands as both a cautionary tale and a testament to how resilience can grow in even the darkest corners of pain. When the Brady Bunch first aired in 1969, it painted the picture of an ideal American family, warm, loving, and filled with lessons wrapped in laughter. Maureen, barely a teenager, was thrust into instant fame. The world saw her as the embodiment of grace and innocence, but what no one saw was how that image became a prison. The pressure to remain perfect Marcia was suffocating. Every strand of hair, every smile, every line had to align with a fantasy America adored. Yet off-camera, Maureen struggled with crippling insecurities, wondering if people loved her or just the flawless illusion of Marcia Brady. "I was living a lie," she would later admit. "Everyone adored Marcia. I didn't even know who Maureen was anymore." And as the cameras stopped rolling, the real tragedy began. Fame had ended, but the pressure and loneliness didn't. The 1970s weren't kind to child stars, and Maureen was no exception. Like so many before her, she turned to dangerous escapes. Drugs and toxic relationships began consuming her, offering momentary relief but long-term destruction. "It was like falling down a well with no bottom," she recalled in her memoir. "I couldn't tell where Marcia ended and I began." She lost jobs, trust, and the support of friends who couldn't reach her through the haze. Her family tried to help, but fame had taught her one thing: never show weakness. Now, here's where things take a shocking turn. While her fans imagined she was living a glamorous life in Hollywood, Maureen was actually spiraling into self-destruction. There were nights she didn't know if she'd make it to the morning. Casting directors stopped calling, and the industry that once adored her moved on without a second glance. Imagine that one day you're America's sweetheart. The next, you're a forgotten name in the credits. "It's terrifying how fast they forget you," she once said. "You think fame loves you, it doesn't. It only rents you for a while." But just when it seemed her story would end in tragedy, Maureen made a choice that changed everything. She decided to fight back. In the early 1980s, after hitting rock bottom, she entered rehab. The process was brutal. It meant facing years of shame, guilt, and self-hatred, but it also meant rediscovering the woman behind the mask. Through therapy and faith, she found clarity, forgiveness, and purpose. Slowly, she began to rebuild, not as Marcia Brady, but as Maureen McCormick, a survivor. Her comeback wasn't overnight, but it was real. Appearances on reality shows, guest roles. And her best-selling memoir, Here's the Story, brought her back into the spotlight, but this time on her own terms. Even so, the ghosts of her past never fully disappeared. She's spoken openly about her continued struggles with anxiety and self-doubt, and about how fame still casts a long shadow over her life. "People still call me Marcia," she once said with a bittersweet smile. "I guess she'd always be a part of me, but now she doesn't control me." That statement alone reveals a truth far deeper than fame. It's about healing, acceptance, and courage. Today, at 69, Maureen McCormick's story is no longer a tragedy, it's a resurrection. She's turned her pain into power, using her journey to help others battling addiction and depression. Her life reminds us that fame may fade, beauty may age, and perfection may crumble, but strength, honesty, and hope endure. So, the next time you think of Marcia Brady, the golden girl who had it all, remember this. Behind that bright smile was a woman who nearly lost everything, but found herself instead. And maybe that's the most powerful story Hollywood has ever told.